I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys while I put my makeup on and kind of share a little bit out. So I use CC cream. That's what I always use. I always use the CC cream by IT Cosmetics. They changed the formula. Like, they're changing everything because nothing is good for you. And then everybody always says that they're making it better. And then we find out within time that it's still not better. And I just think sometimes it's just for money. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't work as good. But this is the best makeup I've ever used in my life, personally, because my skin is just weird. Sometimes it'll be oily, sometimes it won't be, and I don't have time for skincare. All right, we're lucky that I shower and brush my teeth and wash my face these days with how hectic it is with the kids. Okay, that's reality. That is reality. Life with children, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I wanted to just chit chat while I get ready and ask you guys what you think about everything when it comes to these missing scientists and all this alien talk and all this weird stuff when it comes to the aliens. Something my Nana always said, don't forget to blend. You don't want to walk around with your head not matching your neck and the rest of your body. So anyway, I don't know. I think it's really bizarre. It feels like they're all different stories. I don't know what's to come of it. I have had no time to really pay attention to the news and politics with how everything is with the kids. And a lot of that isn't because I don't care. It's because I feel like the way that I am, once I understand things and I know things, there's nothing left for me to pay attention to. I already understand. People think that I'm narcissistic. That is absolutely not who I am. That's not how I want to be. If I know that I have no control over something or there's nothing positive that I'm going to get from it, then there's no reason for me to continue to engage. I feel like that with politics, that everything is just about fighting with each other and getting rid of as much of the positive energy that we all have. And, you know, the more hateful that we are, the more angry we are, we don't get anywhere. And everybody else is still billionaires, still rich. They're still the ones in charge, and it doesn't matter what party they're on. I also think very differently. I see things very differently, and it makes all of us very unique. But in this day and age, nobody wants to be unique. Everybody wants to argue. And I just have no time to argue with people because I can understand where you're coming from. And I just ask for the same decency and respect to understand where I'm coming from. But what I've realized is that instead of debating and sharing ideas or sharing information, all everybody wants to do is just demand that we agree with them. That's really what it feels like. And I see it all the time, and I deal with it all the time, and it's truly, like, absolutely heartbreaking. It really is, and I don't get it. I do not understand it. I don't get it. I don't know. There's so much that we could all accomplish within our own lives, like within our own families, within our own neighborhoods and communities, and I don't get why people would rather argue about everything, you know? Like, I understand that when it comes to content and stuff like that, a lot of people are just doing their job and they're under contracts, or they know what is going to pay their bills and how the algorithm's going to work. So I'm just talking about people in general. I'm not talking about people on the internet. And one of the biggest things that I've, been talking to people about lately that I find to be really odd is these cases with the scientists and everything like that, and how a lot of these cases seem very similar. So all of you know that when we were in the process of moving to Tennessee, I didn't discuss that on this channel at all, but it was very documented on like my Facebook and stuff like that, where I was, kind of sharing stuff with the kids and things of that nature. And no, I wasn't profiting off of them. And I just had full faith in the Lord that we were doing what he wanted us to do by putting the kids first and trusting in him. And it has been the hardest experience of my entire life. I am exhausted. I feel like I've had to start over so many times in life, but at the end of the day, God always finds a way. The last couple of months have been the hardest that I've ever gone through, because I was never a crier. I was never of the victim mentality. I don't have that kind of mindset. And it seems like out of nowhere, like I just cried all the time. I'm just crying all the time. And I understand that a lot of it is the trauma of having a child with the type of autism, and not sleeping and always being on fight or flight. And then there's just a lot that goes into it. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that, like, when I moved here, we were all trusting in God. I was following the Lord and his will, and just really trust him. Like, I don't have doctrines that I'm going to sit here and demand and talk or whatever, but I could sit there and talk about the Bible. And I'm always trying to learn and grow, because I don't think any of us are perfect, and we're never going to be. But I think that a lot of us are not able to share like our truth and how we truly feel. And when I was moving here, the Lord was the one that I had trusted in. I put my full faith into him. I really wanted to move closer to Virginia because that's where a church is that I absolutely adore. It's my favorite church, and they do so much for the community, and I absolutely adore the church. If you're ever looking for somewhere to watch online, it's Solid Rock. It's in Virginia. Pastor Cash, he actually has a doctorate, so he's Dr. Cash, and they have a radio station and all kinds of things. I highly recommend following them and listening to them. So as I was journeying and having all my faith in the Lord, and we've gone through all kinds of stuff, and we also we're stumbling on the situation with that missing teenager Sebastian Rogers case. And then as you started to get into learning about his case, the YouTubes all connect to other channels, and then you learn about the Summer Wells case, and you learn about all these other cases. And lately everything's been about Nancy Guthrie and that case, and I can't help but think that a lot of these cases now all have a lot in common. They have a lot of patterns. They just disappear in the middle of the night like a ninja. Nobody knows where they went. And I think it's really interesting, don't you? I mean, I think it's really interesting. Like, they're all just vanishing without a trace. And then the interesting part is that when we went on the FBI website, it tells you their story, right? Like, there was Stephanie Damron. There's Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian's a 15-year-old, now 17-year-old, missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He last ate dinner at the Texas Roadhouse. That was the last video sighting, I believe, that they have confirmed. And then you have Stephanie Damron. She was in Massachusetts, September of 2024. Sebastian was February 2024. And supposedly she went out to the woods after having a little bit of an argument with, or some sort of a discussion with her sister. Then you have, I'm sure there's many others. And then you have Nancy Guthrie. She took an Uber and she went home from dinner and she was never seen again. And then you have all these scientists, and there's some times where the scientists have just taken off, left their cell phones, everything behind. They say the same thing happened with Sebastian. He left everything behind. Say the same thing with the Stephanie. She left everything behind. So I'm just wondering, like, what do you guys think of this? Do you think that there's anything unique about these? Do you think any of them are connected? What do you think? Now, what's interesting is that Sebastian Rogers had a chromosomal deletion, right? His parents are from the military and they were in the Navy, right? So do we have any other patterns or connections with other cases that people that were in the military? I don't know. I think that that's something that would be interesting for people to explore and to speculate on. There's a lot of stuff that come to my mind when I listen to a lot of these that make you wonder, like, oh, was this person in, were they into something secret that we don't know about that isn't supposed to be out there? Or is something going to break? Or is there a big story at the end of this? A lot of times I want to hope that we're in some sort of training exercise.
I like to be optimistic, even if it's very unlikely.
Can't really find much information on a lot of these people. You can't really find much on anybody, right? Can you? It's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys soon. I hope to come on later tonight. And life is just really crazy, and I do enjoy speculating and talking with you guys, and I can use all the prayers because things have been really difficult, and I'm just putting my full faith in the Lord because, guys, it has been really hard lately. It's been really hard. And I know I'm not the only one that's going through stuff like this. I know that we all go through different points and times in our life when it feels like the sky is literally falling on us, and that everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And the only thing I have to cling to is my faith in Jesus Christ, and just putting the full armor of the Lord on and praying. And hopefully I'll have time that I can come chit chat with you guys, and we can go over these. But please let me know, what do you think? Do you see any patterns with any of these other disappearances? I think it's interesting that Stephanie Damron was in the middle of nowhere. Is there any type of UFO situation or anything that you think that could actually play into this? I know that we've had a lot of speculating with the serial unaliving with certain cases, but with some of these cases, is it unidentified, flying saucers? Is it aliens? Is it genes? Is it chromosomes? Is it, what is it? Could it be something that nobody's thinking about? Or are they not connected at all? And we're always going to find common things, right? There's always going to be patterns, but it's just different stuff to speculate on. No disrespect involved. I don't mean to offend anyone. I feel like people have gotten very touchy when we talk about true crime. It really, come on. We're just talking about stuff that's publicly out there, and I do want all these people to be found and all the families to be given closure and justice to be served where justice needs to be served. But anyway, I'm gonna go. I gotta get home. I have a sick child at home. Her dad took her to get an antibiotic shot, so I didn't do that because I am not the best at holding her, and I've taken them to every appointment. I've been through every surgery with all the kids that have had surgeries and everything, and sometimes you just need to say, you know, to the other parent that it's kind of your turn. You can take a little bit of this. And I've done it on my own for a really long time, and I need to schedule time for myself. So this was my time for myself. I had to go get some makeup to cover up the wrinkles, and sneak in a little Jesus time because I never have time. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, having children is a real busy job, but when you have children that have severe medical needs or, you know, autism and stuff, where you're up all night and you're constantly on fight or flight, it is. We're warriors. We're not narcissistic at all. We're just warriors. And I feel really bad for judging people because I have cried more in the last couple months than I think I've ever cried in my life. So I feel bad. If you know, you know. JS. I feel bad for judging that crying stuff. I really do. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. Much love. God bless. Let me know in the comments what you think.